Let's bring in Greg Anthony, NBA TV. Greg, kind enough to join us. I know you're on a deadline here. Greg, thanks for joining us. Let me start with the news. The Cavs have a new head coach in John Beilein. What do you make of this?
It's shocking, to be honest with you. There were rumblings about Coach Beilein taking an NBA job prior to last season. At this point, if you look at Cleveland, we've seen this story play out before with college coaches. They're not going to be very good next year. And he's a terrific coach. He's going to make a ton of money. It's going to give him an opportunity to probably, scratch an itch, meaning, getting the opportunity to coach at the highest level. But it's a tremendous blow to Michigan.
Yeah.
He had done such a terrific job there. And I got to say, I feel a little bit better now that my son didn't commit to Michigan to go play basketball, because I would not be a happy camper right now.
Would you rather coach the Cavs or Michigan?
And I think it depends on how much they're going to pay. And in his case, at this stage of his career, he probably just wants the opportunity and the challenge, But if it were just down purely to coaching, I would say Michigan. You're going to have a chance at more success. They're not going to win a lot of games at Cleveland next year. You don't have as much impact as a coach at the professional level as you do collegiately, because you don't have control over the roster. He can't go out and sign 5-star guys at Cleveland. He doesn't have that option. He's got to coach that roster, and that roster is not going to be very good. He's going to be in a teaching mode, which might help with Cleveland because they do got some young guys that they want to develop.
What did you make of the Lakers hire Frank Vogel?
I like Frank Vogel a lot, but the reality is he was not their first choice. It's become a bit of a disaster in L.A. with all that's transpired over the last, 3 months. You got to go all the way back to the trade deadline. Nothing's going well for L.A., which is kind of shocking after you go back to last summer and they signed LeBron James. You think everything's going to head in the right direction, and it's been the absolute opposite. So we'll have to wait and see, but they've already lost the press conference, right, because of how the thing played out with Ty Lue, and the fact that they only gave him a 3-year deal. You gave Luke Walton a 5-year deal to come in when that team really wasn't destined to do much. You go out and sign LeBron, and your answer is we're going to go just basically sign guys for the length of his contract and just let it play out.
We're talking to Greg Anthony, NBA TV, called Game 7 yesterday between the Sixers and Raptors. Have you seen somebody perform the way Kawhi has performed, certainly in that series, but in the playoffs so far this year?
I think he's been the best player. I mean, we get caught up oftentimes just in the stats and the scoring, but you got to remember how good he is defensively as well. And last night, I mean, they had got nobody else wanted to shoot. Like, people will look at, he took 39 shots, but just with the way the game played out, he could sense his guys. The moment was really big. No one really wanted to step up. I thought Kyle Lowry was solid, but other than that, he was basically a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah.
And that guy was incredible down the stretch. I had to tip my cap to him. Boy, I tell you what, it's going to be really interesting as this thing plays out, because I think that series is going to be incredible between Milwaukee and Toronto. But just all the ramifications about whether or not he stays. I mean, I don't know that anybody – he was already an A-list guy. I don't know that anybody actually helped themselves anymore in free agency than Kawhi Leonard.
I'll leave you with this, Greg. Will the Rockets system work with James Harden the way it's constituted?
I think the system is fine. It's not the prettiest system to watch, but their guys laid an egg in that game, in Game 6. That to me, I just thought they did not have great focus, and they weren't very disciplined in that game, and the Warriors made them pay.
I know you're on a travel schedule there. We appreciate your time. We'll catch up with you again, Greg. Thank you.
Anytime, Dan. You guys take care.
That's Greg Anthony, NBA on TV. TNT's exclusive presentation of the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals begins Wednesday, May 15th. Ernie, Kenny, Charles Shack. There, Patrick, shut the hell up. The pregame at 8 Eastern. That's a Game 1 tip, 8:30 coming up on Wednesday.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.